Nice. Nice. Okay. Oh, hey guys. Well, that was a little awkward. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to teach you guys how to make stuff flow in Photoshop. If this is your first time here, please go ahead and leave a like, drop a comment, and subscribe for more awesome tutorials. I'm Latin Shinobi, and let's go ahead and get right into it. Peace. Hola amigos, and now that we're back, let's go ahead and open up Photoshop and jump right into it. So the first thing that we're gonna need in order to make things flow is almost for sure at least two pictures. You're gonna want a picture that is your subject, the thing you're gonna wanna make float, and you're gonna wanna have a picture that is the background, where your thing is gonna flow. So we're gonna be using Photoshop. I went ahead and got this picture of a friend of mine over by a nice little river that's in, I guess more like a creek that's in my area. And we're gonna basically cut him out and we're gonna have him floating in the middle of the water. So it shouldn't be too hard. Let's go ahead and get started. First thing we're gonna need is the pen tool. We're gonna hit P on the keyboard to bring out our pen tool, and we're gonna start making an outline around our subject. So here, we're gonna just start here with the knee. Now, I prefer to start my outlines inside of the frame of my subject. So it's better to be a little bit inside than outside. And now that we're almost done, we're gonna go ahead and close this up here. Boom. Right click, make selection. 2 pixel radius should work for this. We could also go with 3. It's not a particularly sharp picture. The subject is fairly far away. So we'll hit 2, that'll work. And now these are our marching ants, and you see them here. Like I said, it's not gonna be perfect everywhere, but we'll come back and we'll fix that as need be. So let's go ahead and make a mask. We're gonna hit this right here, and now we have a mask of our subject. Now this works very well, and this allows us to just grab this thing here and just move it around. All right, so this is the cool part. Now we have a mask of our subject that we can put basically anywhere. But we're not quite done. There's a couple things we need to be able to switch up here. Number 1, if you come inside here to the fingers, let's see something. Oh, isn't that weird? Now you see the fingers aren't see-through because we never cleared the mask from inside of this area. So in order to do so, I'm just gonna make a quick selection here. Boom, boom, boom. Make it, that's a little bit careless. Boom, okay. Let's make a selection here. And we'll do another 2 pixels. And now what I'm gonna do is hit B, and that's gonna get our brush tool out. And we're gonna make sure we select our mask, which is this layer here. And now with our brush tool selected, making sure we're inside of this space, we come in and we just clear away that mask. Very nice. So now if we take that out, we can see that our fingers are see-through again. Now we gotta repeat that over here. Boom. All right. Now we make a selection, same thing. B, clear that out. Make sure we clear the space around it. Looking good. Okay, look at that, see-through. All right, and now I did a little rotation here to my image. So I hit Command or Control T, and this is gonna allow us to alter our image. I'm gonna hold down to the edge, hold Option, Shift, and start stretching it out. And what that'll do is make it so that it stretches evenly from the center point. Okay, so now let's go back to our mask and just we're gonna select it, bring it here. I'm gonna convert this into a smart object. It makes it a little easier for me personally to just to work with it. Hit Command C, and now we're gonna shrink this guy down a little bit, not too much. Now I want to put him right around here. Let's see. I think he would have to be smaller if he was this deep, right? Around there. I feel like that would work. So now I feel like this might be a little too centered, or maybe he's even looking a little too small right now. So let's hit Command C. Let's increase his size a little bit. That's looking a little better for me now. And that's it. We just made something float. Now, of course, we're not just done. So most people aren't gonna make a guy float in the middle of a lake. You're probably gonna want to make like objects float and things like that. So in order to do that, you're gonna need to be able to do shadows and do reflections. So what I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna make a quick reflection here. Maybe not a perfect reflection, but it's just something so that, give you some ideas in order to really pull this off. Now, if we look at this, he doesn't quite look like he's just floating there in the water. Why? Because there's no reflection. And you can see everything has a reflection here. His position also doesn't quite sell me. To me, it feels like he is before this tree right here, right? So I feel like he's kind of like floating right in this area. And that's not quite where we want him. I want him a little further back. So I'm gonna Command T again, or Control T. I'm gonna shrink him down even further, but have him higher. Maybe just a tad bit higher, and have him right around here. A little bigger. Around there. And here. Great. Yeah, that's working. That's working. Okay, now we need to be able to show this guy. So we're gonna make a small reflection. And in order to do that, I'm gonna grab his image. We're gonna hit Command or Control J. Now we have a duplicate. And let's call this guy reflection. Okay, so our reflection, we're gonna have to do a couple things to it. Number one, let's put him down here. Just right around where I want this reflection to be. So now we gotta think about how this would look as a reflection, right? So it will basically have to be like upside down and facing out. So let's go ahead and get on that. So hit Command T. I'm gonna rotate him by coming out to the corner edges, hold Shift, and let's turn this guy around. That's one way. You can also, there's another way to, switch the way you do that. But let's go ahead and get this. So now I have him here. And in order to have this reflection where I want it, I do want it to be kind of stretching out this way. So we're gonna hold Command and then drag out the reflection out this way like that. Alright, cool. Okay, now this is probably looking a little crazy right now, but don't worry, it's gonna make sense in a second. So the first thing that we're gonna have to do in order to start getting this looking like something is I think I'm gonna mess with some of my blending modes. So let's see what we have. So we could go something like a screen where you can start seeing the grass come through. This color dodge here is actually looking pretty nice. Okay, I'm gonna go with color dodge for right now. And as you can see, that already is starting to look pretty cool. So we're gonna just turn down the opacity because it wouldn't be that bright. And let's go over to some filter. I'm gonna go with a little bit of Gaussian blur right now. Let's see. It's looking pretty good there. Yeah, I mean, I dig that. I dig that reflection. Cool. Yeah, right there, that's looking decent. Now, I'm gonna play around with something. I'm not sure how it's gonna work out. Let's just see. So, filter, and we're gonna try to use ripple. Now, I wanna see what this looks like. That's not showing me much in the preview. So, we'll play it by ear. Let's just see what happens with 123 ripple. I honestly don't see much of a difference there, but I think, I mean, that looks decent, man, as far as shadows go. Where there's not even supposed to be any, I think that's looking pretty good. Alright, so I'm just gonna do a couple of like finishing touches here just to kind of bring the image all together. And let's just get everything, and I'm gonna make some duplicates here. I do this because just in case I don't like where this goes, I can always go back to this point and, you know, just start all over.
Hey, what's up guys? So I'm out here about to get a little late night snack, but I forgot something really important, so let's check that out real quick.
Okay, so this is what I forgot to do real quick. So if you see here, there's reflection. It's actually on the opposite way. So in order to fix this, we come over here to our object, and then we hit edit, transform, and then you hit flip horizontal, and now you see the reflection is in the correct side. So we'll start here. We'll get all these, we'll mix them into one, and we did that by selecting everything, shift, hold, and then you hit command or control E. That's gonna allow you to just get all those things and make them all into one smart object. Again, I do that just because it's easier for me in order to move, in order to just kind of like work on one thing instead of like multiple things. But I always make sure to only do that once I have reached a level where I'm comfortable and I know that what I have so far is, you know, good enough. But even then, I always leave a backup so that I can always go back and in case things don't work out, because trust me, things don't work out all the time. So a couple of quick things we can do is come over here and we hit image, and I like to see what the auto tone, auto contrast, and auto color do. And to me, this is looking pretty nice right about now. It's a nice daytime picture. I don't want to mess with it too much. One thing that I do want to add though is just a little bit more of, we'll just play around with this here. Let's hit some curves. Get these down. Now he feels like he's a little bit too bright. That's looking pretty nice. And there we go. I mean, just with a couple of quick tones, and maybe you can tweak the colors. Everything from this point on, you know, that's all up to personal preference. I think we did a pretty good job as far as like making our subject flow. He looks really realistic. So remember, you're gonna need one picture that's a background, then one picture for your subject, a mask in order to cut them out and then be able to put them together. And then you're really gonna wanna be able to mess with the visual aspect as far as where your subject is on the frame. Where can you place it that's believable? Where can you place it that it seems like it actually belongs and what you're thinking about does make sense? Like, imagine if we had this image and we just left this guy this big and we just put him there, then it wouldn't make sense. It would look like there's a giant in the middle of a lake, and you know, he would look like he's like floating right on top of this area, and that's not really as visually appealing, right? It's like, by him being further away, you can tell that he's like in the middle of the lake floating there. It gives you enough space to be able to have this cool reflection of him. That's what really sells it. And altogether, it just, you know, I think all those steps together is what really makes it come true. You can always just cut something out and then put it somewhere else and forget about it, but that's not really selling what you're trying to do. And that's about it, guys. That's how we can make stuff float in Photoshop. If you want to know how I made that cup fly at the beginning of the video, that's an After Effects video. I would like to do it, but hey, it's up to you. If you want to see me do it, just leave me a comment and I'll check it out. But that's about it. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Like I said, drop a comment, and please go ahead and subscribe. It gives me a little motivation to actually keep making these things. Alright, peace out, guys. Ahí nos vemos. Land Shinobi signing out. Ciao. Okay, so that's how you can make somebody float. It's so bad. It's so bad.